What's up everybody, here my name is Pizza Pusta and welcome back to another analysis video. So today's video is absolutely crazy because, sound the alarms everybody, praise be the Lord, the first official teaser trailer for Good Burger 2 has just dropped on Twitter. And not only that, we finally have a release window, for this fall. So, this trailer looks absolutely mind-blowing to me guys, like I am super excited, I cannot wait for this movie. I was already waiting for a while but now I am hyped as can be, it looks so good. Getting back the original actors, this trailer feels like watching the original movie from 1992 all over again, it looks so good and I am super excited. That being said, there are a couple of notes I took while watching this trailer that I think warrants a thorough analysis about what the plot will be and any other cool hints and tidbits we can glean from it. And, before we get started, I have to apologize again. I got super sick around the time this came out, so my voice isn't very well opted for talking a bunch right now, so I have to use a robot. Again, super sorry, and anyway, let's get it on. So first off, you'll notice that Ed is driving the original delivery car from Good Burger 1, thought it seems to actually have been upgraded from the original, sporting a new color scheme and slight redesign. Now we don't actually know how this change happened, maybe it will be a plot point where Ed will acquire it during the movie. But what I am curious about is how this happened itself. Is this actually the original car from GB1 or is this a replacement after it was destroyed? So if you watched my previous video from a couple months ago, you'll remember discussing the theme of breakfast and reincarnation. If you know what I'm talking about, this scene from the trailer will be very eye-catching. And I'm talking about the scene of Ed and Dexter sitting in a restaurant, seemingly in the morning having brunch. So this is why I believe that this trailer actually gave us our first glimpse of the new rival restaurant that will play the role Mondo Burger did in the first movie. It shares the few similarities of being a large space, which are taking pride in their specific brand image shown by the use of waiters in fancy clothing. In the car shot, Dexter even seems to be holding some egg-shaped objects in his hand. We know for a fact that the Good Burger restaurant will be returning because of the clip following that where they say the catchphrase. However, I do not think it will be that simple, as there are some slight differences in this shot showcasing the front counter. If you look closely, there doesn't seem to be a shake machine where it was in the original movie, unless you can't see it in front of the employees, which is also a notable point. All of these employees are new actors, and though some of the original cast has unfortunately passed away or been banished from the Good Burger universe due to controversies, Monique and Dee Dee were definitely able to return for the sequel, which makes it curious that they are nowhere to be seen at all. This is why I have a feeling that this is not the same building from the first movie, rather that the restaurant will have reopened a short time before the events of the movie, or that they will have to reopen it during the plot. While it does seem like a downer to find out that the building closed after the happy ending of the first movie, it would make sense knowing their previous business practices nearly put them into bankruptcy, only being saved by Ed's sauce recipe. Even if you believe that it's a cop-out, I think it would still set up a great redemption arc and utilize the hero's journey to expand on the restaurant's history. So now I think it's time we pulled back into the theorizing section of the video. If you watched the previous video, you'll know that I have been considering the possibility of this movie not being all that it seems, in that the twist will be that there is some kind of theme of reincarnation, making this movie not as simple as a direct sequel. And this new teaser seems to further drive that theory home. What with the disappearance of Dee Dee and Monique, I have been theorizing that this movie may in fact be a prequel using previous incarnations of Ed and Dexter, but as it's clear to see, that's just not the case. Unless this movie will take place in an alternate universe prior to a hypothetical eternal recurrence, as in a previous cycle of the universe before rebirthing into the new universe the original Good Burger takes place in. Good Burger 2 seems to be taking place after the first movie. All that being said, I've now focused on a new theory by recontextualizing everything said, as well as gleaming over the new details present in this teaser. So if you will turn your attention to the first scene of the trailer, obviously it's the scene where Ed hits Dexter with the brand new Good Burger delivery car. You will notice that Dexter doesn't simply drop to the ground from the collision, he actually flies upward, into a front flip, then lands perfectly into the car. Now call me superstitious, but that does not happen in real life. To me, that's something that could only happen in a different realm. Yes, I believe this is the scene where Ed kills Dexter with his car. However, Dexter's flying upward signifies that he has died in this very moment from the collision. But when he lands into the car with Ed, he has ascended and given the powers Ed held. Remember in the last video where I theorized that Ed had received spiritual powers following the events of the first movie? Well, as it turns out, I may not have been too far off, as this theory would explain the souped-up delivery car as well as this bizarre scientific phenomenon. So I don't think this confirms that Dexter is necessarily dead, but I do believe this scene implies he has been blessed by Ed after he became a more powerful being. The delivery car has been upgraded into a chariot of some sorts, and Ed appears as a servant to a higher being. If you look closely, you realize that the actors have not appeared to have aged at all, as Ed presents exactly as he did in the original Good Burger movie and Dexter simply has a new haircut. It is with these details that I've concluded that this movie will be about Ed taking Dexter on his own spiritual journey while explaining the backstory of his own between the events of the two movies. It may even go into events that happen in the book, finally unifying the two timelines into a complete retelling of the Good Burger saga. If the new restaurant is to be the next rival of Good Burger, it could tie into the purpose Ed and Dexter have in this new movie. Ed having become an omnipotent servant to the Good Burger restaurant and protecting it from financial harm, which would make sense given his loyalty to the brand we see in the first movie. We don't know how exactly he became this powerful just yet, but I'm sure they would explain this in the movie itself. With the omen of a new restaurant threatening to put Good Burger out of business again, Ed senses it and decides he needs to help, after failing to do so when it went out of business, hence the new employees. However, if he knew the restaurant was in danger, why enlist Dexter to help? This is where I believe Dwayne Johnson comes in. The brunch scene in the trailer pretty much confirms that this movie will feature breakfast versus lunch as one of its main plot points, and Dwayne Johnson is the new supervillain behind it all. But because Ed clearly needs Dexter as a new disciple in order to take on the new restaurant, it seems to me that Dwayne Johnson is much more powerful than we thought himself. Perhaps this teaser has given us the hints that Dwayne Johnson is a demon, possibly even the devil himself, and will need to do battle with Ed since he shares a similar role as the protective angel to Good Burger. This would explain why Ed needs Dexter's help and hits him with the Good Burger chariot, giving him part of Ed's power in order to defeat Dwayne the Demon Johnson. This may even be setting up future installments of the Good Burger series, which you know I'm more than okay with. So that's pretty much all I have to say in this video, guys, unless I left anything out, which I will definitely make a follow-up video if I did, or if any of you in the comments bring up some other points, which I'll definitely try to read as many as I can, and you know I will be making a video once the movie comes out and any other news that is released. Really quick though, I want to thank you all for 13,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me and I appreciate everyone who watches these videos and analyzes with me. Thank you so much for the support. I'm really happy to make these analysis videos for you guys. You all mean the world to me, so thank you so much for the support. Well anyways, that's all I got for now. Hope you all have a good day, and stay shining.